Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the podcast for the love of drama. Today I'm continuing the topic on monologues, and as promised last week, I have written a monologue to read to you now. Next week, I want to rehearse it properly over this week and be ready to perform it for you properly, like in a proper performance, without reading from a script. But I've just wrote it, so I'm going to read it straight off the script to you, as raw it is at the moment. So this is read. The story is given from the eyes of Tess, who lost her husband 5 years ago, and it's called The Years After You. Looking back at 5 years without you, Joe, my mind still goes cloudy. Right now, I'm grateful for what I have. 2 fantastic daughters, Rose and Daisy, who were stronger than they had to be and supported me in ways I'll never forget. And Sally, our dopey sweet spaniel, who still waits at the door like you might walk in. So let's go back to the early days. The numbness, the sudden tears that would pool in my eyes and spill over before I even knew they were coming. The mornings when I'd wake up and my first thought was, I can't do this. That went on for months. The money worries, the long drives home from work with the cold, sharp realization that you wouldn't be there. The first Christmas, the first birthday. I really lost it that day. I came home from work and kicked the bin around the kitchen. Sorry, bin. The girls dealt with losing their dad in such different ways. Rose, she almost stepped into your shoes, Joe. Not as just another parent to Daisy, but to me as well. She'd ask over and over, "Are you all right, Mum? And have you eaten today?" She took over the kitchen in those early first few weeks, cooking healthy meals like she was holding us together, one plate at a time. We talked about you constantly, and eventually one of us would start to cry, which of course set the other off. We'd hug, and the tears would come so hard we couldn't tell whose were whose. Those moments were painful, but I cherish them. They helped more than I can ever explain. Daisy was the complete opposite of her sister. She didn't cry for weeks. The moment we mentioned you, Joe, she'd leave the room, sometimes the house. It was like she'd built an invisible wall around herself and dared anyone to try climbing it. Her only responses were, "I'm fine, stop fussing," or "just leave me alone." She'd grab the plate Rose had made, stomp upstairs, slam the door, and then the angry music would start, loud enough to shake the walls. And then one day, everything changed. She came home from school, and I was in the kitchen with the radio on. The moment she walked in, Colours of the Wind started to play. The song you used to sing to her when she was little to help her sleep or calm her down. She stood there, stared at me, and then just threw herself into my arms, sobbing until she had nothing left. That was the day I realised we were going to be all right. That you were still here. You were still here with us, Joe. That you hadn't really left at all. And so life goes on, or so the cliche says. And on it went. All of us living on. Even Sally, who helped each one of us in her own intuitive way. She always seemed to know when one of us needed her close. On the days it all felt too heavy, she'd be there, her head on one of our laps, looking up with her soft, gentle brown eyes, as if she was reminding us to breathe, to keep going. And so, 5 years on, we're still living. No, more than that. We learned to make the most of every moment, big and small. Losing you taught us that. It taught us to grab life with both hands, because life is a gift. And speaking of life, 18 months ago, Rose gave us the most precious gift, a baby boy. The day we first saw him is etched into my memory and heart. She placed him in my arms and said, "Meet your grandson, Benjamin Joe." I had no words. None. But as I looked down at this tiny, brand new human being, I saw you, Joe, in his eyes, even in the little dimples around his mouth. And I felt your hand on my shoulder and heard you say, "I'm here, Tess. I'm here." I still think of you every day, Joe. But the love of our wonderful girls, our beautiful grandson, and the steady support of brilliant friends, they've shaped me. They've given me resilience and strength and a way to face whatever comes next. Remember that live, laugh, love picture in the lounge? It's still there. You put it up the day we moved in. Every time I look at it, I think of how you lived, laughed, and loved. And that's what I do now. I live, laugh, and love in big, bold, beautiful colours. Right, that was my very first read through of the monologue called The Years After You. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm going to practice it this week and perform it properly on an online performance for next Monday. I hope it's given you something to think about. Maybe, a lot of people, or all of us, know loss eventually. And I hope it's relatable. And if it helps one person, just one, well, that's good enough for me. But I will see you all again soon. Take care all. Bye-bye.